Welcome back to the channel, everyone. The mistake that a lot of dumpies make, and the mistake that I made when I was going through my first breakup, was everything that I was doing during the breakup, everything that I was doing after the breakup was to try and get my ex back, was to try and bring my ex back into my life. I wasn't doing it for myself. At first, when I first started no contact and I first started giving her that time and space, I was only doing that to try and get her to come back into my life. And it never worked. No contact wasn't working for me, and I was wondering, why isn't this working? But it seems to be working for everyone else. And the reason that no contact didn't work for me at the start, the reason why I never heard from her and she never came back into my life, was because I was doing it for the wrong reasons. I was only doing it to try and get her back. Right now, during this time, especially in the beginning of the breakup, you feel like you need this person to survive, right? You feel like you need this person in your life if you're going to continue to survive. I used to feel that exact same way. I felt like I wasn't going to be able to survive without my ex. But right now, you need to get to the place of acceptance. You need to be able to accept the breakup, and you need to get yourself and get your mindset and your life into the place of acceptance. I will say, however, that over time, you will just naturally get to that place, as time goes on and, you don't hear from your ex and they don't ever come back. If they don't ever come back, you will slowly get to that place of acceptance. And when you do finally get to that place, when you finally accept the breakup and you accept what happened, you then slowly will be able to start to move on with your life. You slowly will start to realize and tell yourself that you're going to be okay. When you get to that place, you're going to be able and you're going to start to realize that, maybe they are with someone new. Maybe they're dating someone new now. Maybe they don't want to be in my life anymore. Maybe they don't want to be with me anymore, and I'm going to be okay. It's okay. That is the attitude that you will start to have. That's the attitude that I started to have eventually as I actually started moving on from my ex, as I actually accepted the breakup and I got to a place of acceptance. You're going to get to that place. You're going to tell yourself that you're going to be okay. When you get to that place, you're going to start to feel a lot better, of course, and you're not going to be like dwelling in the breakup anymore. You're not going to be dwelling in the past. You're not going to be, dwelling in this past relationship that didn't work out, and you're not going to try and figure out how you can fix it. You're going to be able to accept it and start moving on with your life. What dumpies do after the breakup happens, right? And you probably did this just like I did this during the initial breakup and during the initial stages of the breakup, is you're trying to get your ex's attention. Everything you're doing is trying to get their attention. Maybe you're texting, you're calling, you're over pursuing, you're chasing, you're begging, you're pleading them, or just everything that you're doing in your life is trying to get their attention onto you. It's trying to bring them back and force them back into your life. The thing is, as soon as you finally cut that cord, you cut that cord of trying to get their attention, you stop trying to do everything in your life just for them, it changes everything. It's a complete game changer for you. When you cut that cord, you're going to tell yourself that this person doesn't love me anymore. This person doesn't want me anymore. These are the thoughts that are going to come into your mind. These are the thoughts that are going to help you move on. This is why you need to be reading books on relationships. You need to be reading books on attraction. You need to be reading books on communication and everything. All of the coaching calls that I have with people and all of the work that I'm doing with people that reach out to me and start working with me is I'm getting them to read. I'm getting them to read books, because what reading does to you, what it did to me, is it starts to make you aware. Once you learn these things and you learn about relationships, you learn about communication, you learn about attraction, you become more aware. And once you're more aware, you actually start to realize the mistakes that you made in that past relationship. You start to realize the things that you did wrong, and you actually realize the mistakes that they made as well. And once you realize and you understand the mistakes that you made and the things that you did that didn't contribute, anything good to the relationship, you can learn from those things. And once you learn from them, you're going to understand and know how to not make those mistakes again in the future relationship, or in a reoccurring relationship that you have if your ex does come back and you guys do rekindle things. Once you do become more aware and you are reading books and you become, more knowledgeable about relationships and communication, you're going to put yourself in the place of power, basically. You're going to be in a place of thinking to yourself, do I even really want my ex back? If they were to come back right now, or if they came back, next week, Do I even want to be with my ex again? You're going to be in a place where you're going to be able to make that decision. You're going to be able to think about that to yourself and really decide if this is the person that, you want to be with if they did come back. The whole point of no contact, the reason that you should be in no contact and actually sticking with it and doing it, is to work on yourself. That is the point of no contact. That's what I didn't understand a few years ago. I was only doing no contact to try and bring my ex back into my life. And that's what a lot of people do. They think that there's some sort of date attached to no contact, to that, 60, 90, 120 days. On the 100th and 20th day, my ex is finally going to reach out to me if I just stay in no contact for that long. And that's not how it works. No contact is supposed to help you and get you start working on yourself and actually focusing on your own life. There is no date, there is no timestamp with no contact. You cannot be attached to the outcome of no contact. You can't think that it's going to guarantee you that you're going to get your ex back, because again, unfortunately, sometimes not every ex comes back. That's just how it is. Sometimes the relationship has ran its course and they're not going to come back into your life. So you can't be attached to the outcome of no contact, because if you are and you're solely doing it to try and get your ex back, you're not giving them a chance to come back into your life. You're not actually giving them that time and that space and removing your energy from them and from their life so they can have the chance to possibly come back into your life and reach out to you. The only chance you have, the only shot that you have at reattracting your ex is by pulling your energy away from them, removing your energy from their life and letting them have the breakup and accepting it and letting go and starting to work on yourself and slowly move on with your life. That is the only shot that you have at getting them back. They need time and they need to actually see and feel what it's like to be without you. They need to feel your loss. They need to see what life is like without you in it, what their life is like, without you by their side, without you around in their life. And when they're doing that, when they're figuring that out, when they're seeing how that feels like, you need to let them come to the conclusion on whether they made a mistake by ending their relationship or not. The main thing that you need to understand is that there is no way of getting out of doing the work. There is no getting out of doing the work on yourself. You have to be working on yourself. You have to be improving yourself. Because what if your ex came back tomorrow? What if they came back next week? Are you really that different? What's better about you? What's better about your life? What has changed in your life? You need to be doing the work on yourself and taking accountability for your own life, letting go, getting to that place of acceptance, giving yourself time to get to that place of acceptance and, dealing with the breakup and dealing with all the emotions, because I know it is a very emotional thing, but you have to simply just be working on yourself and working on your life. It's that simple. If you did make it through the video and you got some value from this, like and subscribe right down below. There is coaching right down in the link in the description below if you want to work one-on-one personally with me. I know I can help you and I would love to work with you. I will see you in the next video.